My strategy for the tending of this flame of change is taken from the new Labor strategist, the late Lord Philip Gould. He convinced me that progressives shouldn't focus simply on winning elections, as crucial as that was, but instead plan on the bigger picture of winning centuries. Lord Gould argued that to win centuries, Labor must win the battle of ideas in our community over the long term, rallying public support to our causes in both government and opposition, and forcing the Conservatives to fight on political ground already captured in the minds of the public by the ideas of the progressive movement. To win centuries, Labor must shape public opinion over time, not merely reflect it. In fact, Labor must win the public debate so comprehensively in the hearts and minds of the people that once introduced, our reforms are so embedded in a bedrock of community support that they simply cannot be overturned by a Conservative government, no matter how transient. Labor's agenda won the 20th century. We weren't in power for the majority of the last 100 years, but our ideas were. From the Fisher government's championing of the old age pension and workers' compensation, to the Curtin government's wartime leadership and foundational work on the Anzac Alliance, from the Chifley government's nation-building and leadership of the establishment of the United Nations, to the Whitlam government's opening of Australia to the world through tariff reduction, trade relations with China and multiculturalism, from the Hawke government's Medicare, HECS, compulsory superannuation, dollar float and financial deregulation, and to the Keating government's Native Title Act, enterprise bargaining, national competition policy and APEC leaders meeting, and throughout it all, the union movement's fight for better conditions for workers, it's been Labor ideas that shaped the 20th century. Members on this side of the House can look back on this legacy with pride. But the question confronting new members is how we can win the 21st century. The Labor reforms of the past are a great legacy, but they are just that, the past. We must keep feeding the fires of political reform, looking ahead and engaging with the challenges of the future. To win the next century, Labor must see the changing landscape of the nation, understand the trends that are already shaping our future, and paint the big picture about how Labor's reform agenda will create a fairer and more prosperous nation. This is a challenge that the party will need to take up on many fronts: education, secure work, urban livability, workforce participation, climate change and regulatory growth, to name just a few. There are, however, three fronts of this fight that I want to personally address briefly today. First, defending the role of government in a period of fiscal challenge. Second, championing the online communities that have emerged as a result of the digital revolution. Third, showing that the success of our open economy depends on our open society, founded on immigration and multiculturalism.